What up? This your boy Bobby V, and you know I got soul.
Take me to a song in your catalog that you look back and you're just like, that's the one. Like, it doesn't have to be about chart success, but just one that you look back and you're just like, yeah, that's the one.
If I Can't Have You, man. Produced by Tim and Bob. If I can't have you, I don't want nobody else. That song is amazing. The production is amazing. The track is amazing, and I always listen to it. But it's so many more, but that's always the first one that comes to my head because that's one that I always like. That's a track that I have on repeat. And then at the end of the track, they went crazy on it. And it's just so dope that the music for that. So that's just one that I always circle back to. But also my Hollywood Hearts album. So my Hollywood Hearts album is almost a hybrid. That's like a hybrid R&B album. You know what I'm saying? It was very kind of popish. I worked with a guy by the name of Emerson, who is so dope. And he really helped me create that sound for that album. I know a lot of people don't know about that album because I really just kind of put it out. But the music and the cadences and how I sounded on it, it was definitely very different from what I normally do. The Peach Moon album was amazing too.
Yes.
The Peach Moon album was like, I was just experimenting during that time, like just trying to do something. And I really want to re-release Peach Moon because that's how I was feeling. I was feeling very D'Angelo-ish, very like super duper. Peach Moon was so soulful. And I'm glad I got to see actually D'Angelo do the verses thing. I didn't even know about it, but I saw it. And he's like one of my heroes, you know what I'm saying? So I remember going to the concert and meeting D'Angelo. That was dope. And I grew up on him. I remember I was in Mista when Brown Sugar came out. I heard that. I want some of your brown sugar. See, like people like D'Angelo, man, are cats that's like, what he did, like 3 albums. But it's like he don't have to do no more albums, you know?
True.
We kind of in this society and world of music now where we just gotta keep dropping music. New song. Certain people live in that moment in that time. And of course I would love to hear a new D'Angelo album, but if he didn't, it don't matter. He's still a legend. You know what I'm saying? And I think people put legendary statuses on a lot of people that definitely don't deserve it.
It's another thing we discuss all the time.
Man, a lot of people get the legendary status, you know, and it takes really, you have to really capture some moments, I feel like, to be legendary. I won't even say that you have to have 10 and 20 albums that went platinum to be legendary. You just have to be cats like D'Angelo, you know, like Frankie Beverly and Mays. I think he might have did 2 albums. And he's legendary. You know what I'm saying? He's still touring to this day. I was just in the studio last night. Keith Sweat came in the studio last night. And I was around him, and that's legendary. You know what I mean? Certain people just have this certain aura and status of legendariness, but I think that now consumers have no clue and no idea. So it kind of has gotten me to a level of, I don't give a damn no more. It got me to that level. That's the only way that I could stay sane, to not understand like, damn, this is a hot record. Why ain't people gravitating to it? But they gravitate to this. So, you know, after a while, I mean, I produce, write, sing, all of that. So to me, at this level, I just make music for my congregation, you know, for my people that ride with me, for the people that love me. That's who I make music for the people that's looking for my music, you know. A lot of people, it's weird because you'll put a post up, hey, new single out right now. And somebody will DM you, hey, when your new single coming out? It's like, I almost want to make a post like, damn, like you were one of them people in class that didn't pay attention. Like you got an F.
Yeah.
You know, but I feel like that when you really love an artist, like for me, even somebody like Joe, I was thinking about Joe the other day because I know I grew up and I tried the way, one of the ways I learned how to sing was mimicking Joe and mimicking Dino that died. That was his name in H-Town?
From H-Town,
Yep. I used to mimic Dino and Joe all the time growing up. Those were like my two favorite, and Babyface. I used to mimic those three all the time. And I tell Santos this too, like to practice, find you somebody that you love as an artist. And this is for all artists. Find somebody or a few people that you really love, learn their whole songs, ad libs, all of that. And by you being who you are, you're going to make it your own, but that's your vocal lessons right there.
Yeah.
And that's how I learned how to sing a lot too. Not only did I take vocal lessons, but by mimicking Joe, Dino, Babyface. You know, I like Raphael Sadiq from Tony Tone.
Bobby, I got one more for you. Just when I hear your voice, JoJo Haley from Jodeci.
I love JoJo.
Yeah.
And KC, actually. I forgot about those two. JoJo and KC.
Yeah.
Because I was a huge Jodeci fan. I couldn't get enough of Jodeci. So I grew up on those guys and I tried to mimic them too. I actually wanted Mista to be like Jodeci, but the music that they gave us was just so like left field that there wasn't no way to be Jodeci singing Blackberry Molasses. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I wanted us to be the youthful Jodeci mixed with Boys to Men because that's what was going crazy at the time, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, those are my favorites, man.
Man, I'm so excited that you mentioned If I Can't Have You. We know, we're cool with Tim and Bob.
Yeah.
And I was just texting Tim. I'm like, man, that song is so amazing.
Yep.
That should have been a single.
Yeah, I wish. I mean, I usually like on my albums, it's crazy because I feel like, you know, I have so many singles on my album all the time. But, you know, when you don't have like a real crazy budget. But I was into a good question. And I was really about to speak on the listener's ear now, what people like and the level, the quality that people like of music.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I was talking about actually singing without the auto-tune and how many times you had to take it.
Yeah.
And now I really feel like people put artists on a pedestal that aren't deserving of being on a pedestal. I think R&B music is probably the hardest genre of music. It's the hardest genre, and it gets the least respect.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like R&B artists that go out on stage and sing their ass off, hit long notes, you know, do runs, and get paid of what a rapper go out stage. And he don't even sing, he don't even do nothing. He just jumps around.
Yep.
And let the crowd sing it. Even if he jumps around. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like what people like now, and it's no disrespect to what people like, but at the same time, it's kind of like it's a little sad that, you know, somebody that can go, it's almost like a player that's riding the bench that's amazing, but he doesn't really just get the credit, or like maybe a Scottie Pippen. All right. Scottie Pippen wasn't Michael Jordan, but you know, he was still that guy, and he didn't really get the credit that he kind of deserves. And I feel like R&B music and R&B artists, R&B artists, should be put on a pedestal, especially ones that play instruments and sing. I feel like her is really getting her just due. But that's one of so many, you know. And I feel like now R&B music, it's almost becoming more and more obsolete. There are, of course, artists that are R&B that are newer artists, but the new I feel like the new artists of like R&B are kind of similar to what Santos is, you know.
Yeah.
Santos is like a Lucky Day to me. You know what I'm saying? He's like, you know, he's like a Khalid. He's in it's a different, it's a different kind of R&B now. It's a hybrid R&B, you know. I think what I grew up on and my type of R&B, well, I would say mine is slightly different from Babyface, but it's still along the same lines.
Yeah.
So of course, music changes over time. Yeah, even rap changes, of course. But I just feel like the conditioning of the listener's ear has become like it's to somebody that plays instruments and is really has a soul and is really a real R&B person. I just hear music differently. So when I see people being put on a pedestal and I see somebody that's really a true soul artist that's really into the craft and they really love it, you know, it can kind of deter you a lot, especially when you do R&B. And now R&B is almost rap is R&B now. I listen to these rap songs and I hear these guys and they're really singing notes. Even though the auto-tune is helping them, they're really doing R&B music. So since rap is the hotter genre, it has really taken R&B away. I remember when rappers would get the R&B guys to do the hooks. Now they don't need us no more. They doing everything, you know, because they are really singing. So that's really, I think, another reason why rap is so big too. And another reason rap is big is because rappers are cool with each other, right?
Yeah.
And this is what I've been trying to do more. And like, I was just in the studio last night, Me, Life, and Pleasure P. We've been kind of working on a little project together. But one thing that I've noticed about R&B guys is we all beat our chest like we like R&B popping. You know what I'm saying? And you got guys that, oh, anybody else drop an R&B song today, you don't want none. Like, bruh, you need to be getting us all to drop a song today together so that it can be more awareness, because otherwise, what does that do for the genre of music? And this is what I don't like about R&B is that we all don't collaborate with each other. We're all competing all the time. And right now R&B losing. So why are we competing with each other? The strength is really in numbers. There's a lot of dope R&B guys out here, a lot of dope R&B guys. But if everybody beating their chest, oh, I'm the best. No, I'm the best. I'm the best. There's no unity in it. And that's why R&B music lacks. Rappers, they get together. Let's collab. We in the studio together. Let's do a project together. Let's go on tour together. I'm gonna take less money so we can go out on the road together. I'm gonna do this so that we can, work together. So I really ultimately feel like R&B, that's one of the other reasons that R&B is not in a good place, because we all beat our chest like we the best and we the best. And then really it just kills the whole genre, because nobody's really the best. We're all dope. Let's get together and put our dopeness together and take our genre back to where it once was. Otherwise, this thing's gonna be extinct. Especially for the type that I do. Now, see, for Santos Silva, he's a hybrid R&B artist, which most of the new R&B artists are. They're hybrid R&B artists, which is also great. It's dope because it's a form of R&B, but it's also, it can go, white people of, even though some white people love R&B too, but the type that Santos does. Oh, you white? Damn, But the type that Santos does, and kind of the new age R&B guys, it's more I won't say popish, but it's kind of easy. It's easier. Because to hear real R&B music, you almost gotta like have a soul. Like R&B is so much for like soul, and it has so much gospel, and it has so much like soul in it that you have to be a certain type of person to really understand it almost.
Yeah.
And what's been taken away from music is the soul of it, which is what R&B music is. It's soulful. So you have to kind of have that in order to really understand it. I know I get off the track, and I love talking to you guys because you guys are like real R&B connoisseurs, and I am too. So sometimes I might go off on a tangent, or sometimes I might go on different thoughts or go on a different pathway. That's because I know y'all understand what I'm saying more than the average person would, you know?
You know, it's funny, Bobby, we talk about this all the time amongst ourselves, and you're right. Like this new wave R&B, there's nothing wrong with it, but it just reaches a different demographic. But
it does.
Yeah, I just want to circle,
and that's why I like Santos though, because he can reach a different demographic, which is a broader demographic. Now I've been blessed because I'm an international R&B singer. I can go anywhere and people know me, right? But I feel like Santos's music it can be bigger than my music, you know, because it's just a different type of R&B. Now it's still R&B, but it's a different type that I feel like can reach a broader spectrum of people, which is awesome ultimately. And that's why I signed him, because he's going to make me a lot of money.
No, well, because this new wave R&B, the influences, it's not just gospel. Like new wave R&B has like rock influences. It has all these different influences. So when you have someone listening to it, if they're used to that type of sound, they'll love it. But for us diehard R&B fans, we only know one thing. We're dinosaurs out here. But
we're dinosaurs. We old, man. We old. Let's just face the facts. We're stuck. We're stuck on, and I know me. I'll face that. Like, you know, I was just riding with a young lady, and she wanted to put some ratchet music on, and at this point in my life, it'll give me a headache. Like I can only take one or two of those songs. After that, I can't continue to hear it. I gotta let the window down and like a dog, and I gotta let the wind hit my head. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a diehard true R&B fanatic, and I love. And I was just listening to Jasmine Sullivan's new project. You know, it's like she's like probably the best singer, one of the best singers that I've heard sing. Like she's amazing. But then here's Eric Bellinger, who I listen to as well. And Eric Bellinger is kind of a hybrid R&B, and his music is dope too. So, you know, I'm kind of like in between both of those, that sound and music, between that hybrid and that all the way Jasmine Sullivan super gospel.
Yeah.
Let me hear your perspective on this, Bob, because you know, as we're R&B lovers, we've listened to R&B for decades. Now we're, you know, journalists, bloggers, whatever. But you know, you've been in the industry since the '90s. You had success in the '90s, 2000s, 2010s, now 2020s. We always talk about the evolution of R&B, how it's changed. As an artist, living as an artist during that evolution, how did you view it? I mean, what was the wave like for you of the way R&B was evolving and moving from you, the perspective of you as an artist?
How it changed?
Yeah, how it was evolving while you were an artist, you know, making your way in the industry. How were you watching it evolve, you know, and adapting, I guess, and just watching it play out from your perspective?
I just think that rap really just took over. Rap just became more and more dominant.
Yeah.
And as rap became more dominant, it changed R&B. So once you really just saw the rappers starting to sing, I think it kind of started with maybe Bone probably might have been like the first guys. I'm trying to think before Bone, who was kind of singing.
Well, we debate about that actually. I would say we say like the Ja Rule era, because remember he was singing.
But Bone was before Ja Rule.
That's true. That's true. That was a little bit.
It was a little different though. Like
no, I listened to it. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, but
See you
Ja
at the
Rule was actually
crossroads.
trying to hit notes. It was a little
Yeah,
different.
Bone was too. And I'm gonna miss everybody. And I'm gonna miss everybody. And I'm gonna miss everybody.
That's true.
They were singing before Ja Rule.
Yeah.
Now Ja Rule came in, and you know he took it to another level. But Bone was the initiators.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's a good point.
So y'all can't forget about them, and they were so huge that I mean they kind of started it off. And then remember, you had like offsprings after Bones. You had like Twister. You had like kind of like Crucial Conflicts, and you had all kind of guys that were trying to be like Bone. You know what I'm saying?
CeeLo Green, he was active in the 90s too.
CeeLo.
Who?
CeeLo.
Oh yeah, CeeLo.
Goody Mob.
That's true.
But see, CeeLo is a real singer though. CeeLo can actually sing.
Yeah.
So I won't say that CeeLo really kind of like was fake singing or whatever, or was part of that. But CeeLo definitely can really sing, and he can rap just as well as he can sing. So he's like really a hybrid. Missy is like really. Like,
she can really sing.
Yeah, she could really sing. You know, and that's what. And then everybody now is Drake clones.
Yep.
Kind of, you know?
Yeah.
So like, you know, there's always that one God, and then there's a lot of offsprings to that God.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So right now I feel like everybody is trying to be Drake or, you know, close to it. And those guys that aren't, I'm actually happy for those rappers that are actually rapping like Da Baby and Lil Baby. They actually kind of like really rapping more so than singing. You know what I'm saying? And I think that that's dope when somebody can say, you know what, let me do what I really do instead of trying to follow the trends of things, because that's why so many artists come and go. And even successful artists, what happens is we chase the trends too.
Yeah.
Because we want to have commercial success.
Yeah.
I even did that myself, you know?
Yeah.
And you have success on your own, and then you go get a label situation, and then here comes the label telling you what producers to work with, what your sound is. And it's like, yo, you weren't here from the beginning, but now you want to tell me. And then when it doesn't have success, you're going to drop me. And that's what always happens.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why we always sit around, and that's why y'all always make the post. Whatever happened to such and such? Whatever happened to such and such? It's not what happened to them. It's what the labels did to them.
Yeah.
You know, the labels come in, you have your success, you popping, and then now they want to tell you, oh, you need to work with this hot producer right here. You need to work with them, and you need to do this. It was like kind of like Anne Marie, for example. I was talking about this with somebody the other day. Anne Marie, dope. Had her own sound, everything, right? Yep. Lil Jon was hot. Oh, Anne Marie, we need you to work with Lil Jon.
Oh, yeah.
Like, wow.
Yeah,
she is already who she is. She has created her own style and sound that nobody can do. Mm-hmm. Now you're taking her into the same lane as everybody else at this moment, which doesn't make you special anymore. It happened to me too. My second album.
Yep.
I was working with Tim and Bob. We had our sound. We had everything mapped out for this next album. Oh no, we want you to work with Rodney Jerkins. Now Rodney Jerkins is very dope. I'm not taking anything, no disrespect. Rodney Jerkins is a dope producer. He's a legend in producing as well, right?
Yep.
But Rodney Jerkins was not my sound.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So what happened is I got caught up because the label's like, yo, we want you to work with Rodney Jerkins because Ray J had just had success with One Wish.
Yep.
Turn the Page was One Wish. You know what I'm saying? It was like, we want to recreate something that's already done. And it's like, no, that's Ray. Let Ray J have that sound because that's what makes him. Mm-hmm. Now you're putting me with the same thing and you're not making me special anymore. So after I did that, I had to go with a guarantee. I'm like, y'all got to put me in the studio with Timbaland because Timbaland is the hot hand right now. Yep. And that's why I did Anonymous, which those records both were successful, but ultimately it got me away from who I was, you know? Yep. And then now after that, I was trying to backtrack to get back to who I was, but it was almost too late now. And then the label drops you. It's like, oh, well, it didn't work. Peace. And then so now I get my label situation and I have to make a hit. So with that, I have to make beat because I know it's like a guaranteed, like this is gonna go right now.
Yeah.
Versus me being myself, who I am, and not letting the label predict. And see, I've gone through that. So with Santos Silva or any other artist that I sign, I want them to be them. I don't want them to have success and then I come in and say, oh, now you need to work with whoever hot as a producer, because yes, you can make a hit record, but will it have longevity? Will it sustain? Will it be one of those songs that you'll be able to tour off 20, 30 years later? Slow Down, Tell Me, all of those are records that'll never go anywhere because they are individual. They are, like, to go back to Anne-Marie, it's one thing they got big tripping. Oh, it'll never go nowhere.
Yeah.
It can't be duplicated. It can't be done over, right? So as an artist, labels come in after your success and they tell you what you should and shouldn't do when they weren't a part of your initial success. They just came in and took it to the next level, which is all that they should do anyway, you know? So.
But I'll tell you what, Bobby, throughout all of that, and you know, that's crazy that you talk about all that because that gives us so much perspective. But even through all of that, you always had those great album cuts. But Tom, this is something me and Tom always talk about, Tom. But 2008, 2009, we always feel like that's the time when the industry really changed, when R&B really took like a nosedive. Tom, can you talk about that a little bit?
But that was around, I mean, the EDM came in. And Bobby, I don't believe you ever jumped on that trend. But what you did around that time, which I loved, I believe it might have been a few years after, was when you came out with Words. I believe that was the lead single on the Fly on the Wall album. I mean, that's another single. That should have been up there to me with Slow Down, you know, of your biggest hits. That's right before If I Can't Have You, same album. Like that's some of your best work. It's just that the industry had shifted a bit away from that more traditional sound and they got caught up.
Yeah, what was that time? What was that time like for you, Bobby? Because like from our perspective, we like immediately felt that R&B was changing. We couldn't put our finger on it, but a guy that's in it and you're independent at that time, like how are you managing through all of that?
And that was a tough time because I was trying to stay true to my craft and I was really trying to get back kind of to who I was at that time, you know. And I was signed to Capitol at the time. I just came off of a very successful independent album, was signed to Capitol, and Capitol was making all of these changes. And I remember at that time, Atlantic came and they wanted to buy me out of my deal. It would have took me to a whole nother level. But Capitol had the second rights to another album. They exercised those rights instead of letting me go, you know, and that would have really changed. It would have really took me to a whole new level. They came down to Atlanta to meet with me. They were like, yo, we're about to do, because I had Miss Officer, I had Beat Beat, and I was independent. So they was like, damn, what's this guy doing? So we gotta do something. And I remember they came and met with me and Courtney, and we were ready to do the deal with them. And then we went and asked Capitol, like, yo, can y'all just let me be free right now? Let me do my thing. No, we want to keep you. We're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. And then when they kept me, they changed presidents, they changed publicists, they changed everybody and dropped my album at the time. They dropped the Fly on the Wall album at the time. And that's why I named that album Fly on the Wall, because I was like, man, this is bullshit. I'm just a fly on the wall. That's why I named the album that.
Wow.
And the album was dope, but I was like, man, it's like I'm in the room, but I'm just a fly on the wall.
Right.
It's like I'm here, I have success, but these other guys is way on another level for no reason. And it was really a reason. It was just because the label that I was signed to was going through a transition, and I had the opportunity to go with a super major that was, you know, solid, and it didn't happen, you know, because Capitol wanted me to be with them another album that they didn't work right, you know, and they would change the presidents, and I want to say it was a lot of things that happened with that.
Yeah, because even Tom, even at that time, I'll say this, is that it seemed like radio at the time, the only two R&B artists, male-wise, that they were playing were Trey and Chris. They weren't giving anyone else a shot.
Exactly. They was.
But
and shout out to Trey and Chris.
Yeah, absolutely.
for still like being top of the food chain. I mean, they're like the top dogs because it really ain't nobody else doing that type of R&B. And I think Chris Brown has figured out the way to do both. You know, he's figured out the way to be this dope rapper and be able to sing too. And Trey Songz is just, you know, he got the look, he got the girls, he got everything. So, you know, I really commend them for being in the game so long and still having that success.
Right. Well, let me say this, Bobby. Even though you didn't get that opportunity with Atlantic to maybe take your career to the next level again at that time, you're obviously still one of the greats of your generation, man. You should see this article we put out, the current status of every R&B singer from the 90s R&B groups. Most of them are long gone. I mean, it's so crazy. And you were on, to circle back to what you were talking about earlier, you were part of the Millennium Tour, which to me was one of the most epic moments for R&B of people coming together. You said R&B artists never come together. They finally did this tour. It was super dope. We never see it. And it's great that you were included in that, because we talked to some artists who were a little mad they weren't included in that tour. And
it was
there's no doubting.
It was a lot of people mad at me, like, oh, he don't deserve to be on there. Like, I'm like, what? Yeah, it was a couple artists that, you know, they were mad that I was on there. Like, I didn't deserve, like, I didn't have 3 number one albums, you know, like I didn't have hit records, you know what I'm saying? So that was funny to me, but, you know, I feel like a lot of times I do get the short end of the stick, but at the same token, I'm thankful for what I have, the things that have happened for me. And I'm thankful for my management team. I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful for my friends. I'm thankful for all the people that really just keep me grounded. And, you know, I'm very blessed. You know, I don't care what we is. Like, y'all website, like y'all Instagram page should be out of here. Y'all got the only website, but y'all grinding constantly grinding. So it's going to eventually get there. But then I know you guys sometimes look at other sites and be like, man, how's this site popping and mine not? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is. And sometimes you can easily get discouraged, but it's just left up to you to have the right team and the right people around you to like just keep you focused and keep you going and keep your heart in it, because it's hard. You know, it's hard to stay in something when you see people that are not as good as you having more success than you know. But I'm thankful, I'm blessed, and I'm really thankful for you guys. I love talking with you guys and interviewing with you guys. I actually I need to go. Did you get what time is that? Oh, cool. Oh yeah, so we're good.
Cool.
Wait, go ahead, Kyle.
Yeah, I was going to say, so just to circle back to your article, Tom, about all the 90s and 2000s artists that have just kind of disappeared from the scene. They stick to touring now. They're not really putting out music. I can only think of a handful of people that are still consistently putting out music. We just spoke to Jagged Edge. They're one. You're another.
I love them.
Like, you guys are the only ones that still put out music consistently. And sometimes, you know, it doesn't reach the masses like it should. But, I mean, just talk about still putting in that work.
I mean,
well, Bobby, can I just say one thing? I just want to say, I'm so glad you said earlier that, and you know, you're just making music now for the ones who are really checking for you, because I really think that's important, you know. And I've seen so much good music get put out, and people just don't pay attention. It's like people just, it's so frustrating. I'm glad you've locked in on really reaching the ones who are checking for it. You know, that's important.
Man, and that's one thing that Pleasure P told me. He was like, man, forget all that trying to be on the radio and all that, man. You got to speak to your congregation. He calls it a congregation, which is true. It's like a church. Everybody has their congregation. Whether you have 5,000 people checking for you or you have 100 people checking for you, you got to feed them. You know, and a lot of these talks I have with Santos as well, it's like you gotta make music for you because you love it.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people try to want to be famous because for the money, you know.
Yeah.
I know a couple writers that, I'll write with you, but you got to pay me this and that. I don't want to work with nobody that wants to get paid because it's not a love. You're not doing it for the love. Yeah. You're doing it for the check. Once you put the love into something, the check is going to come. But a lot of people don't realize that, and a lot of people are down, and of course, COVID, or people don't have jobs or whatever. I never did music because I wanted to make a lot of money doing music. I've always done music because I just love the craft of creating. And I've always loved it. I love to produce, love to write, I love to be creative. So a lot of people just get out of that. They feel like, oh, I'm gonna put my song out and it ain't gonna get on the radio, or ain't nobody gonna hear it. But man, I'm on Apple Music all the time trying to discover new music, and it's there if you're looking for it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, they're not really looking for it like that, or they're just not aware that you're still putting music out. I've come across a lot of people, like I said, yo, reply video, biggest day on my page. I'm tagging it. It's everywhere. Yo, when you gonna put a new song out? That's gotta be my pet peeve right there. I think that's my one pet peeve. When I just put a new single, now I'll see if it's a year later. But when I just put a single out and somebody say, yo, when you gonna put a new song out? That makes my blood boil. You hear me?
No, Bobby,
that makes my blood boil.
Bobby, you don't even have it the worst. Our friends Donnell Jones and John B, people think that they last dropped their album in like 2001. At least you don't have that yet.
Those are two other dope artists.
Absolutely.
Donnell Jones, I love like Donnell Jones and that John, the first album. I hate to say like the first album because that's what people say about me because that be the only album they know. But like Donnell Jones and John B, those are definitely two guys that, I have all Donnell Jones albums. I know for a fact that John B, then I bought a few recent John B singles that he's put out. But I know Donnell Jones definitely was in my playlist heavy in high school and college.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Bobby, why don't you tell us about
I want to shout out like all the R&B cats like that don't get that shine, like a Carl Thomas, like people like that Case, a lot of guys, and you guys really, and that's why I love following you guys because you guys really highlight artists. And what people think like, oh, because you don't have a new song, you're not an artist no more. That's another one of my pet peeves. When somebody asks, hey, you still do music? Bro, what the hell else kind of question is that? You still do music? Come on, man.
It's tough.
You still drink water?
Well, Bobby, why don't we bring it up to date? I think we're almost out of time, but I know there's a couple things you got coming out. Number one, like the exciting announcement of the Unsung episode you're going to be on in the near future. And then also talk about after that, the tour you've got coming out. Talk about both of those things.
Yeah, so the Unsung episode, I think it drops May 2nd. We're doing a club type of tour now. Yeah. Where I'll be doing a new single and doing a few hits. Pleasure P is coming up. Willie Taylor from Day 26 is performing as well. It's going to be like a more of a party kind of situation than an actual tour where I'm intimate with my keys and all of that. This will be more of a, just some party. It's going to be exotic dancers. It's going to be fire in the sky. It's going to be colors and Vegas type party everywhere that we're going. And we just happen to be performing at this. I think a couple of the venues will be at a Top Golf, and some other like dope things that kind of hasn't been done. So I'm really excited about the tour. It's like 22, 23 dates, which is extra dope during the pandemic, to be able to tour like that is dope. And I have the new single, Reply, it's out now on all platforms. And I'm thankful for that record. And Reply kind of, to me, it's a little different than everything else. We always chasing the women in the bikinis and that's twerking and all that. But for me, Reply, if you see the video, I'm going after a professional woman, and I really want to highlight my professional women out there that are not twerking and are not doing, that are not there. I respect the ones that doing. I respect the ones that's not. So this song I want to cater to my grown and sexy women with the jobs, you know, that's going to the 9 to 5s that kind of get overlooked because we're always looking at twerkers and the bikinis, and I love the bikinis and twerkers. Don't get me wrong. You hear me? But this particular song, I wanted to highlight those women that are kind of, you know, never get that kind of shine. So in the video, you know, I'm a photographer, I'm trying to get at her, and she finally hits me back. But by the time she hit me back, I fall asleep. I know a lot of guys out there that happens to them. You know, you meet a young lady, she don't hit you up all day till you fall asleep. You wake up the next day. So that's what happened in the video. Replies, it's a dope record. You know, it's a real R&B record. And, you know, that's really just what I'm going to stick to. I'm going to stick to the script of making good R&B music for those that want to hear.
Yeah, that's dope, man. That Reply record sounds like something off like your first or second album. Like it has that feels to it. So amazing that you're able to capture that. And then I got to ask, so the Appetizer is the upcoming album. What happened to Sunday Dinner? Because I thought that was
listen. You want Sunday Dinner. Sunday Dinner is dropping and the Unsung drops, right?
Okay.
The Appetizer is the Appetizer to Sunday Dinner. And the Appetizer is one reason I call it the Appetizer is because I produce like every track on there. And I wrote it. I got a song with Santos on there that's dope. So it's just the appetizer to what's to come for me as a producer and producing artist albums. I want to produce more artist albums, right? I have my team, but I want a lot of artists, new artists, reach out to me. You know, my Instagram at Bobby V Show, Facebook Bobby V Music. Hit my manager at Melinda Santiago. Y'all make sure y'all follow. I am Santos Silva. And, you know, I'm looking to produce a lot of albums for a lot of new artists. And a lot of artists that want to do that real R&B. I'm here for you. You know what I'm saying? So let's vibe. Let's work out. Veltree Music Group, at Veltree Music Group. Follow the label. At You Know I Got Soul. You know what I'm saying? You know I got soul.
So, Bobby. Bobby, one last thing before we get out of here. So when I met my partner Kyle 10 years ago and we started the site, you know, I was already a Bobby V fan, you know, as a music lover, but Bobby V was one of Kyle's favorite. You were one of Kyle's favorite artists. Yeah. So Kyle, on the spot, your top 3 Bobby V songs.
Oh, you can't ask me that
on the spot.
Yeah, I want to know that.
Oh man, you know what I've been. You know what I've been really listening to is Are You Ready?
Say what now?
Are You Ready?
Are you ready?
That
one
song,
of my favorites too.
I just spoke to Bob about that song and I was like, that song is insane.
I'm gonna kill. Are you ready?
Yep.
That's dope. That's one of my favorites too.
So another one I'll say, and this I think this was like a bonus record, but the record off your debut, You and Me. Do you remember that one?
You and me together, me and you forever.
Yep.
Don't let nobody tell you about you, baby, because they don't understand. I love you, and we'll always be forever.
Yep.
Woo!
And then the last one I'll say, just because I feel like you really push yourself vocally here, the song "Hang On" the Off the Wall album. Fly on the Wall. Yeah.
Gonna put that thing going. No, you. Yes, sir. Those are dope ones. I wouldn't put now. Hang On is dope, but I wouldn't. The other two, I'm with you on them.
Yeah.
But Hang On was kind of like it was a dope record. But it would have fitted any R&B guy.
Yeah, I hear you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that was just a great R&B record. You know what I mean? But certain records are like the essence of the artist. You know what I'm saying? So it's like artists will work with certain producers and they'll get more of that producer than who they are. But then they work with some people and he's like, ooh, because that's who they really are. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's who they really are versus a song that's hot, and then who they are. Are You Ready? And what was the other record you said?
You and Me.
Both of them was like who I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Dope. Can I name one real quick? I'm gonna name one just like a underrated one that doesn't get attention it deserves.
Yeah.
Over and Over from your second album. I think it was the last song.
That's a Who I Am right there.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's Who I Am.
Love that song.
Yeah.
That's an
Great
amazing song.
Dope. So Bobby, it was pretty much out of time, man. So thank you so much
Appreciate y'all, man.
for your time.
Can't wait to talk to y'all again, man. I love y'all.